Hello everyone, this is Stewie again. Hope you are doing well. In this session, we will look into the translation app on how to use it and how to translate something and get our translation into the game. So normally, if you have followed the first video of the Get Started session, and you will be at the step where you have a folder, a main folder, where you have the Tales of RxDS repo and you have the TOH Python lib repo. After that, you will need to have the latest build of the translation app. Normally, you would use the translation app repo, and you would go on the release, and you would download the latest zip file of the release, and this will give you like a folder like this that you can unzip. Right now, since my change are not yet merged inside the main version, I have a build on the side that I can give you if you want to contribute. So just hit me up on Discord and I will send you the latest build. So this is the latest build that I have for Tales of Arts. We have a X file that we can open. And from there, what you need to do, the first step you need to do is to open a new folder. So you look at TOH, load a new folder. And this is just in order for the tool to know where is your Tales of Arts repo. So if we look at that, I have a Tales of Arts project and we have the Tales of Arts DS. So we need to actually click on the folder that has all the different folders like this. So we click on the Tales of Arts DS repo. And this will load all the XMLs that are stored inside in the repo. So we have different type of files. We have all the story files for the main story text. We have the skits that are very important component of the game. And we have the menu. So menu would be like anything shop menu, main menu. It could also be like a battle menu when you're on the battlefield. So this step of load new folder is only when you open the app for the first time. When you start again, if you like come back to the app, you can just click on load last folder and it will load the configuration because configuration is stored on your machine. So this is how to open the app. Normally, what you will need to know is what is the priority right now. So where are we on the translation and what are we currently working on? For that, you need to look at the Tales of Arts board. This board is actually inside the Tales of Arts repo. So if I go back here on the life bottle inside the Tales of Arts DS, if you're on the Tales of Arts DS repo, you click on project and you can get to the Tales of Arts board. So you see right now, user stories, like we have 3 different things, and this is what we want to include in our next release or our next patch. So this one, it says that in Shibbol's village, we want to do a first translation of the skits. And in order to do that, this user story, we need to find the skit for Shibbol's village. So we need to understand what XMLs needs to be updated or translated. And then we need to actually do the translation of the XMLs. So you see that I've already done the first task. So I found all the XMLs and I documented the task here to do the translation of the skits. So after that, for you, what you will work on are tasks. You won't work on the user story. User stories are just the end goal that we want to deliver into our new release. But tasks are for the translator or like other member of the team. So we look at the first draft for the skits in Chibble Village. If we look at this task, I've put some documentation. So we know that in order to translate all the skits in Chibble Village, we need to work on all of these 5 XML files. And the skits happens in this order when they are being triggered. If we want to test our skits or look into them in the game, we can load the Shibul Village 1 DSV file, and it's the data2. This tells us how we can actually test the skits. So right outside the save file, you can trigger the skit using select. It's right here, and you see this one is the first skit. In order to close this subtask, it needs to be reviewed by someone else. And for now, since it's just a first translation and we don't have a lot of members on the team, the acceptance criteria are quite easy on you. So the skits are translated, the text is not going off screen, and the line break are decent. So that means even if you are a translator, you will need to test your translation in the game because this needs to pass. The text cannot go off screen. So we will try to translate the first skit and to test it in the game and see what happened. So let's say I want to tackle this first task. I will need to assign it to me first. So I could actually, so there are a couple of ways to do it. So I can assign, so assign it to me, that's me, and then I can create a branch. Probably this step will probably be done by me, so I will always create a branch for the task, and you can just take the branch. So normally we create a branch. We could do like this from the main. So you see the branch name will be with the name of the task. It seems to be clear. Let's keep it like this. So let's create the branch, and it tells us how can we grab the branch. The easiest way is always to use Github Desktop. So you open the Tales of Arts DS repo. You can make sure to pull the latest version of the main branch. So main branch is where we store the the production translation, I would say. So when we work on something, we work locally on another branch, and then we get our stuff reviewed by someone else, and then it get merged into the main branch, and we build a patch using the main branch, the latest status of the main branch. So main needs to be stable version, and means we need to make sure that it works. We don't have any bugs and all of that. So for now, we just make sure that we have the latest version of the main branch. And from there, we can go under branch. Sorry, we can go under here. And you see here on other branch, we see that we have a remote branch. So origin tell us it's on the cloud. We have this branch that we can take. And when we take this branch, if we do it like this, it will clone this branch locally. So right now I have this branch locally on my repo, and I can start working on it. So what I can do is maybe just to be sure, I will reopen the app. Normally you look at your branch and then you open the app. I could also have done the load last folder. So let's do load last folder since I already define the folder. And we said what file do we need to tackle? We have this FC001. So let's look at this FC. So we go under skits FC001, and we have this things here. Sometimes we will have strings that are like this that are not relevant. So normally you have different section here. So I usually for this one, I know that skits don't have any NPC, and this is like probably miscellaneous stuff. You can select story if you want to remove the useless stuff, I would say. And then we have different entry. Clicking on an entry will will update this information on the right. And for each entry, you know who's speaking. So, and when you see like symbols like this with those bracket, like this one, it means that it's a tag. Yeah. So if you translate this string, make sure that you keep the exact tag when you use the Kohaku. This is a pointer to Kohaku's name. And with that, like we can translate the name of Kohaku inside one place. And if we use this tag everywhere, it will use the same translation. So maybe we have like, so I'm not a translator. So to just do our testing, we will use Google Translate for that. Okay, yeah, okay. So Kohaku say we were attacked by some mage and we drop into the sea. Maybe it's not the best, but it should work. So we can update this, and we see on the right our entry is actually like light blue, and the status has been automatically updated to edited. So our first translation has been done, and someone will do the editing in a new phase, and we have like a proofreading phase, and at the end we can put it to done. So I've translated something and I'm good with this translation. I can now save my change to the file. And so we hit save file. You see now it has been, so it seemed like we already had this one translated from the already. So this probably one translation I've done. So we already had this one. So now I can hit save. If we go on GitHub Desktop, we should see our change. Let me just check. Not sure if I've loaded the right folder. Let me just open the new folder just to be sure. Let me maybe let's click again. Let's go back to skits and FC. So it's there. It's not being updated. So let's go here and let's go inside details project, details of RCS. So when you look in the translated, so those are the raw XML files. So if I open this one, let's see if, so they have been updated, but for some reason it's not reflecting in our change. So that's kind of odd. Ah, okay, sorry. So this is very complex because I have a different repo and I've always make this mistake. So you see I was not in the right repo. I need to be inside the Tales of Projecting. Let me change to the other project. So this is the right one. This Tales of Arts thingy. And this is actually something else. Let me just redo the same stuff as we did. So I pull main. We take our branch. Now we are back on track. We are on the right branch. Yes, this would go back to original. Let's start from scratch. We load again our translation. Yeah, it should be better. Sorry about that. So yeah, so we don't have any translation, so that's good. And we are on the right repo. We have taken the branch from the remote branch for Shibboleth Village. We open the app, we click on load last folder, and now we can look at our skits and we can, so this one we're saying, what were you doing on the shore? Something like that. We were attacked by a mage, then we fell into the water. Should be good enough. We have translated this save file, and now we do have our translation. So when we save the file, it updates the XML file in our repo, and GitHub will track these changes. So we see that this file has been updated, and you can see all the lines that has been updated. So English text was empty, we put this, status has been changed to editing, and same thing for our second entry here. What we can do now is we can, normally you would probably translate everything, but you can test as you go. So I've translated these two things. If the XML file is updated, it means that I can run a new build and test what I've just translated. So we go back in the Tales of Arts repo under Tools, Batch. You remember that when we looked at the GitHub issue, it was saying that we need to use Shibboleth Village 1, DSV, and data 2. So on the create build with save bat file, I need to make sure that my save is already put on the right one. And then I can double click on my batch file and create a new build. Once it's done, it will say press any key to continue, blah, blah, blah. And we have the name of the build. It's this one, 1618. We can close it and open the emulator. Find our repo project. Normally it will be saved. Tales of Arts build. So we have a new build. It was created today. So it's this one. When it will open, it will load our save file. And with that, we know that there is something. I always forget about turning off the sound. So we know that we can load the save file under here. And we said it would be data 2. So we take data 2. And when we go, we can trigger our skits right here. Press select. So you see right now the line break are not that bad, and the text is not going off screen. So probably this would pass and it would be good enough. And so you see the name of the skits at the bottom. They are actually not stored inside the same file. That's also why the task over here doesn't mention anything like, oh, the skit title needs to be translated, because it's a different file and it will probably be done by someone else. So, but in that case, it was already translated anyway. So we can also trigger the second one, but it will probably be the original because it hasn't not been updated. So let's say I'm good. I'm good with the first two changes I've done. I know that my build works and I can test it. We can leave it like that. Go back to the app and continue our work. So blah blah, Shing, what are you doing? What are you saying, Shing? Okay, well, mage, whoa. Do we have such that kind, I don't know, that kind of evil person out inside the world, in our world, blah, blah, blah. And then if we say something like, no, actually it's Oaku who pushed me. Actually, it's Koaku. So if I want to use Koaku, I use a bracket who pushed me in the river. And then, oh, yeah, this is probably very bad. So something like, yeah, we sure have these kind of these evil person. I don't know. I'm very bad in English, so sorry. So we have finished the skit. Now, so you see here, maybe like we don't know, maybe this push me in might be outside the screen. This one was like barely fitting. So we that's why we need to test our translation. So we hit save. Our XML files is now updated with all of this. We can trigger again the batch file. This will generate a new build, 1622. So we can already go here, open 1622, it's done. So take it, load the save file, 2222, save file 2. Maybe my text will fit, we don't know. Hey, so we can actually speed up that text in the settings in the game. So it seems to work. Now, let's say that I'm very good with all of this and I'm double check my line breaks are good, the text is not going off screen, and the translation is accurate from my point of view. Next step is to publish our change to the cloud on this branch. So you need to make a commit. Commit lets you split the work into different like message. So maybe like if you work on 10 files and you have 4 files that is for the story and 6 files on the skits, maybe you want to separate them into 2 commits, update these skits and another one, update these story files. For now, we just have 1 file, so it's not that bad and there's not a lot of rows. So let's say like first translation of FC01 of the skit. So we try to keep it relatively small like this. And we can hit commit to our branch. So we don't have any change yet, and no change inside this branch. Everything has been committed. And then we can push our change. So our change are now only on our local branch on our computer. We want to sync it with the remote branch. So we can push our change to the remote branch like this. Now, our change are inside this branch on the cloud, and we want to merge it on the main branch. The process for that is to create a pull request. So you can create a pull request here. It will go on the repo, and then you put a description of your pull request. It could be, but I think that message is not so bad. You can also link it to an issue. So we could say translation for task, and we can actually put this one. So we know it's related to that task. And we can create a pull request like this. Right now, I don't have any reviewer that needs to review my change because like I said, we don't have a lot of members, so I don't want to wait for someone else to review it. But normally, you would have someone that would see this new pull request, and someone else from the team needs to review your code. So that means that probably you will this other person will look at the commit and it will look at okay, what was changed, takes this file, okay, oh, so he has translated all of these entries, okay, nice, good. But maybe like this other person would like to review all the acceptance criteria. So you remember we have a couple of acceptance criteria. The text is not going off screen and the line break are decent. So it means that if I want to merge my change to the main branch, I need to make sure that the job was well done and we don't have any issue. So if I'm another developer working on this, I might be on the main branch like this, doing something else, or I have my own branch. So what I would do normally is I look for the name of the branch of this pull request. So this pull request is actually this name, this branch. So I can go here and find it. Okay, it's this one. Normally, if it's the first time I would see origin slash the name of the branch, but since I'm cheating, it's already locally. I change the branch. I can fetch origin just to make sure I have the latest version. And I would just do, I do the same thing. I select the right save file and I do the testing. So I create a new build. Since I'm on the right branch, I'm sure that I have the latest translation that this other person has done. And it seems to be done. Yeah, this 1628. I go here and here. Okay, we have a latest build. Let's see if that one works. I do the exact same thing that the translator is supposed to have done. I select that and I can go here and okay, let's see. Did he do a good job? Okay, not so bad. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So it seems to work. So the test has passed. He did a good job. I can squash and merge a change. I won't do it right now because it's a very bad translation. But normally you hit squash and merge, and this would merge all your change into the main branch, meaning that if I would go back here, I could fetch origin and I would pull the latest change, and my main branch locally would have these new translated, this new FC01 translated. Depending on what step we are inside the like the completion of that user story. Technically, like this user story, once we have done this step, it means that if we are good, we can make a new release that will contain this new stuff. And the release will be done by someone else, but making a new release is you make a new patch for the public and you have a release note that you put in the Discord channel and anyone can try your new release. Probably we want a group of users to do early testing on that release before we put it publicly. But anyway, it's another discussion. For now, we were able to use the translation app, do some translation, and test our translation inside the game and then we push our change, we make a pull request, someone review our check, and he can merge it into the main branch. That's enough for today. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day. Bye bye.